My Indian name is Soaring Eagle, and all my brothers have different specific names. Mine is Soaring Eagle, and that's an Arikara name. There's different communities in North Dakota, and my mother is 3 tribes from the 3 affiliated tribes, and those tribes kind of came together kind of for reasons, for other tribes around them, were kind of bigger tribes, the Lakota or the Sioux. So a lot of times it was important that different tribes kind of came together to kind of help each other. Kind of here in the Southwest right here, you have the Pima and Maricopa community. They kind of came together historically, for different reasons. And so actually we're going to have Toby come out. He's actually from a few of these tribes here. He's going to share with you, different types of materials that he's using, which is very different in a men's style of attire.
Toby Jose. I'm a member of the Embroiderers and Tono tribes from here in southern Arizona. Today I am demonstrating a men's northern traditional style of dress. I've been dancing for quite some time, and in order to adopt this way, I had to get permission from my family. I managed to succeed, and I've been dancing ever since. The type of dress that I'm wearing, this comes from the northern plains tribes. I am adopted into a Lakota tribe from Rosebud, South Dakota, the Makes Room family, or Kukumpi. What I'm wearing on my head is known as a roach or a pesha. It is made from the guard hair of the deer tail. The colored hairs and the long hairs are porcupine. This style of dress was worn by the warriors of their nation. This headdress was something that you'd see on the battlefield. The 2 feathers in the center, these are of their eagle tail feathers, black tip. All of the things that I'm wearing has purpose, has meaning. Now, upon my back is these feathers are of the bald eagle. It's a set of wings that has specific meaning. Things have changed through the years. It used to be when you'd wear these eagle feathers, you'd get them, you'd have to earn them, or they get passed down to you. You'd have to have done something in battle to defend your people, defend your family. Nowadays, these feathers, they come to us through accomplishments. They're handed down to children, to young adults who finish school and go on to further their education. Now these feathers are earned in many, many different ways other than being on the battlefield. The design that I have on my beadwork is, they're bears. I'm a bear lover. Everybody that has beadwork and the pictures and designs that are on them have specific meaning to that individual. The bear is something special to me. It always has been. I was told long ago that was what was protecting me in spirit and in strength. Now, what I'm carrying in this hand, of course, we all know what this is, or a long distance fork. Of course, this is something that you'd find on the battlefield. Now, these men, these warriors, there were societies of these gentlemen. The one that I'm most familiar with is the Dog Soldier Society. Now, these men were like the Marines. They were the first into battle and they were the last to leave. These men would go so far and stake their blade into the ground, which was tethered to their ankle, and they'd span the rope, and that was their territory. That was what they fought to protect. When they completed and defeated their enemy, they'd take that knife and they'd run on. Do it again until the battle was won. Now, some of the things that I'm holding you wouldn't find on the battlefield. The eagle fan, you wouldn't find that. The bustle, you wouldn't see them wearing them. These were things that they'd wear in victory. These men were also our storytellers. They told stories of what took place on the battlefield or what took place on the hunt. So you'd see these at their victory dances. Now, when I first got permission to go out and do these dances and travel and everything, it was explained to me what this dance meant. It was originally a veterans dance. These warriors, it was a warriors dance. Me, I do it to honor my grandfather. I looked up to him so much. So when I started dancing, I wanted to do it for him. And I've been dancing ever since to honor our veterans, to honor those who go to ceremony faithfully, to honor my people. And my people is everybody. I'm a people person. But if you have any questions, I'm taking questions. Yes. Red, to me, and as how I use it, is it signifies blood. It signifies a relationship that you have with other people, other races. Because no matter where you go in this life, no matter where you go on this planet, the one thing that we all have in common is your heartbeat, your blood. Everything is red. This signifies my connection with people, with the earth. And so it has a lot of meaning to me. My last outfit was blue. And I was always trying to work, okay, I got to put red in there someplace, and I couldn't figure out. I was like, well, I got to go make a whole new rig. Hey. So I wear a lot of red now. And now I'm a grandparent, so I have more reasons. I feel more connected now. You know, us as grandparents, we all love our grandkids. So, yes. My shoes. Well, I'm a cheater. Okay. Let's get that straight right now. If I have to make me a traditional pair of moccasins, it's going to take my entire life to get done. My shoes, these are beaded, fully beaded. The top half is beaded, and okay, I'm going to reveal a secret, but it doesn't leave this room. The soles, actually, the shoes itself are aqua socks. You know? For those of you with sensitive feet, like I have sensitive feet, you feel everything. If you're walking around, you step on a rock, you're like, oh. You know, so I did this for comfort. You know, and it's like, man, I can't handle that. Plus the soles, they last a little bit longer. The last pair of moccasins that I had that I made traditionally. They were with the rawhide and the latigo, or the leather and the latigo, and I beaded them. But I found that the more I danced, the longer I traveled, the more I wore them out. You know, you always wear them out, and it was just an expense, you know, to keep for the upkeep. Now back then, you know, people just dealt with it. Nowadays, you know, the society that we live in, everything you do is a matter of convenience. So you got your Walmarts and your Lowe's, your Home Depot, you know, and so us as Indian people have adapted to that. So Walmart is our best friend at times. next to duct tape. Yes. Thank you. You're talking about this, right? Yes. I'm sorry. I completely forgot I was wearing it. This is known as a breastplate. Now, at the time, these were made from bone. And I actually have one that's made of bone, but it's heavy. And these were woven so tight that, yeah, it would protect you from arrows, but it would just protect this part, all your vital organs right here. You know, a lot of the stuff that I have is contemporary. You know, like this, the choker would have not have been this big. The medallion would have not have been there. But this here, yeah, that was its main function, was to protect you as a form of armor. And these bones were made from elk, at times buffalo, or other animals. Any more questions? Sure. Yeah, actually sometimes people, now that we got these suitcases, the hard suitcases, the shell-like suitcases, they come in very handy. Unfortunately, I don't have one. I still travel around with the bag. I'm probably one of the only dancers that still has a sports bag to stick all my stuff in. But the feathers themselves, when I'm traveling long distances, I make a case for it, usually just out of cardboard, because you just want to keep the bustle flat. And if it folds up, you can dismantle it, and it's easy to put back together. This one was actually a gift to me. I didn't make this one. A gentleman by the name of Ardell Scalplock gave this to me out of just sheer respect. I spent some time in the hospital some years back, and I was in the hospital probably for a little over a month. I was about a month and a half, because it was almost Christmas when I got out, and I went in on my birthday in November. He saw it as me being strong enough to survive the hospital, because they lost me like twice. And so when I got out, the first powwow that I hit, he presented me with this bustle. And in time, my son's going to be getting this. I'm going to be passing this down to my boy. But yes. In the past, I was dancing every weekend. But now that I'm focusing a lot on just time with my grandkids, and so I don't travel as much as I used to. It kind of bums me out at times, but I'm involved more with my grandkids now, so I don't travel a whole lot anymore. Yes. It varies. It depends. I mean, with this particular group, there's a certain a number of dancers. The Duncans, all their sons, they hoop dance, so I sing for all of them, and it's been an honor. So they keep me on my toes, keeps my memory fresh. I'm real forgetful in them. Yeah. So, any other questions? Oh yes, in the back. Yeah, you'll find like a lot of the older style dancers, because the type of style that I do is more of a contemporary, and you'll see a lot of the flashy kind of shirts with all the applique on there, and it's like a lot of the traditional dancers. The older traditional dancers will still wear their style of a shirt. I try to combine the two, and Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes. It varies from tribe to tribe, but the one thing that we all seem to agree on is that it represents life. You know, and the journey one makes through life, and you associate that with different colors: the red, the white, the yellow, and the black. Significant to your age and the time of life that you travel. So, yeah. Anybody else? Yes. That is not the first time I've heard that. I'm lazy. I'm lazy. No, to me, it's preference. You know, got a double chin, got to hide it. It's the only other way. You know? It's preference. You know, I just prefer it for some reason. No, it depends on where you go. Some tribes, it was forbidden to have that. With all of them people, way back when, it wasn't allowed. You had to keep it to a certain length, especially those warriors that we had. Yeah. So, anybody else? Yes. You could associate that with the four directions. The white representing the north, the red the south, yellow east, black west. But you can also associate that with your age. You know, from growing from when you're the time that you're born until the time that you're old until the time that you die. So, anybody else? Yes. Yes. Usually for this particular group, it would usually just be my daughter. Yeah. Yep. Is that it? Okay. Well, thank you. That's my time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toby. As you can see, there's variations and differences between different tribes, materials, looks. We're gonna have Martha come out again, and she's gonna share with you another tribe style here. That's very basically from this location here where we're all sitting and we're all at.
I don't want to take off my basket yet until you take your pictures. But we kind of talked a little bit about O'odham people, and that's what I'm representing right now, O'odham people. And so if I were to do my greeting, I would say, Skixiardik Anyan Apchogik Martha Led the Martinez, Gokogami Gig Aidak, Onk Okirimo Amjad. So basically I just said good morning or good afternoon. My name is Martha Ledla Martinez. I'm 24 years old and I come from the Salt River community. So as it was stated before, there's actually 4 O'odham tribes that reside here in Arizona. Our Aboriginal lands went all the way up to the White Mountains, all the way into Mexico. So we have, of course, where I'm come from, the Salt River community. That's Onk Okirimo, which means the Salt River people. Then there's the Hill River Indian community, which is Onk Okirimo, O'odham, and they're the river people, the Akchin community, and the Tana O'odham nation. And Tana O'odham translates into the desert people. So what I'm actually wearing right now is very similar to what I was wearing before, in a way. So how the skirt was kind of pleated out, this one actually has a flap on the side, and so we're always told it needs to be on the left-hand side. It's just kind of how it was and how it's practiced. And so this top is actually representative of when cotton actually came, the material came in. So we're renowned for Pima cotton. That's what we're known for. So you see a lot of our dresses are made out of cotton, and it came from this area. So traditionally what women used to do before sewing machines is they'd get material and tear it to make clothing. And so long time ago, they'd have a triangle piece top, and the top would be tied at the back, and then the side would be kind of laying down, and then it would tie at the side, and then there'd be a flap on this side. So that's kind of what this represents. And that's how it was a long time ago. And so now, of course, with the times now, they're more silk material. We have very, very nice material. So my ipud is what it would say is my dress. So on my dress, you see on the bottom designs, it's really unique to myself, and I had this made specifically for me. So you can see on top there's a basket design, and that's this basket that I'm holding right here. This belonged to my great grandmother, Effie Ludlow, and after my maternal grandfather had passed, I was handed this down to me. So because I'm a traditional dancer and I sing, after he had passed on, he had made sure that this is what belonged to me. And then of course the difference from Maricopas compared to Autumns, we had necklaces made of shells and all different types of material because we traded. So we had turquoise, we had Amston, we had whatever kind of material that we had. And I have 2 bracelets that were given to me. This one in particular is my favorite just because it's a shield design. And so when men went into wars, they'd have this design on their shield that would protect them. And for my earrings, I wear shells. Again, being the desert people, shells mean so much to us because they're connected to water. And of course, being from the desert, water is very, very important to us. So you hear about the canals that are here in Arizona. Our people before us, as that was stated, our Huagum, those ancestors who had passed, created those long time ago, and they're still being used today. And so just this little thing that's right here in my hand, it's very hard to translate. There's no other word I know how to translate into, but it's a hako. And the hako is used on top of my head, so it kind of helps me to balance my baskets, or if I were to get water or something, the oya, like the ones that I carried before.